Hello everyone, JSimLady here, or Jen if you prefer. Welcome or welcome back. I'm working on the second half of that eco lifestyle community lot thing that I did earlier this week. This is the marketplace and makerspace parts of this 4-part lot. It's like 4 lots all in one. It's really weird. Honestly, I get what they were going for, but I almost kind of wish it wasn't. I kind of wish it wasn't. But I get the whole point, and I understand what they were going for in the voting system and all that, so I'm not going to complain. I feel like I hate the voting system, and I wish it wasn't. The NEPs, yeah, totally fine. And we could have kept the voting system for those, but I wish these were their own separate lots. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, moving on. Yeah, I think you just heard the beep of my voiceover program. The thing about that is, I am still very much struggling to get used to this new editing software. I have been working for 3 days on a TikTok that would have taken me maybe 20 minutes in my old editing software, and it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. But if you've noticed, my videos are coming out at kind of random, odd hours, anywhere between 2 and 6 p.m. my time. That's why, because I'm literally working up until the last minute, and then on top of that, for whatever reason, the internet signal back here is so bad. It's so bad. I use an app for my router, and I decided to check it today. And from what I saw on my router, it's not the Wi-Fi card. It's not the computer's fault. Like, there's literally a bad signal back here. Because even my phone only got a 1 kbps, which is like the tiniest little bit that you can send or receive, and it got like 1 upload and download speed of 1, where out in the living room it's like, I don't know, 90 times higher than that. So yeah, I didn't do all the things last week that I said I was gonna do, like change the room around and move the router. um Long story, I just didn't end up doing any of that stuff. I ended up stopping using Restream. So if you're looking for my streams, they are only on Twitch right now, directly on Twitch, because Twitch will keep my stream going even if that Wi-Fi signal blips out for just a second. I would love to use Restream, but I can't hardwire my computer in. There's just no hookup in this house anywhere but the one spot where our router is at. And I'm not gonna run an Ethernet cable all the way across my house. Like, that's just not, no, that's not gonna happen. So, yeah, this is what I'm stuck with. But anyways, those two issues combined means that my uploads have been weird and random lately. And I've decided, after watching the numbers and stuff when I upload closer to like 3 or 4 p.m. my time, that my videos actually do slightly better. So I might just start always aiming for approximately a 3 p.m. my time upload, give or take, Or maybe even closer to 4 p.m. my time, give or take, which, when it's 3 p.m. here, then it is 1 p.m. Nope. what? When it's 3 p.m. here, it's 4 p.m. in New York City. It's 5 p.m. in the plains or the mountains. It might be the mountains. And then it's 6 p.m. on the west coast, like Los Angeles, Seattle, that kind of area. It's about 6 p.m. there. As for the rest of the world, I have no idea. It's probably already the next day in Australia by that time for me. I'm terrible, obviously, at time zones. I'm really bad at them. No matter how many times I try to memorize them and how many times I look them up, I just cannot memorize them no matter how hard I try. So yeah, I'm pretty bad at them. But anyways, yeah, all of that lengthy rambling explanation is just to say I'm having a rough week, internet wise, editing software wise, the whole 9 yards. But it's been a fun news week for The Sims. We got a new website for Adventure Awaits. We got the updates. The update that we got this week did break a bunch of mods. Keep that in mind if you have mods in your game and you have a problem. Get the mods out of your game. Clear the cache. Is it catch or cache? I never know how to pronounce that word. Make sure all the random files that mods can sprinkle throughout the folder are completely gone. Because some mods install files in other parts of your game folder that are not the mods folder. So make sure all the files are gone. All mods, not just script mods, all mods, and even custom content. Custom content that does not rely on a mod can also sometimes break your game, especially if you're having CAS issues, Create a Sim issues. This time, luckily, it doesn't seem like that's as big of a problem. But there is one issue in particular where inventories have disappeared. That is likely due to an outdated mod. So even if a mod appears to have been updated, don't put it back in your game yet. Test your game with a fresh, brand new vanilla save. No mods. Don't just disable the mods. Actually physically remove the mods. And then test everything out. And if it's still broken, then go to the EA forums, search up the issue that you're having, and upvote it or post about it. Share your save files, all that good stuff. As for this lot, so this is the factory space. Did I already show you the maker space? I got so busy talking about everything else, I do not remember if we've already seen the maker space or not. Probably. Any rate, this is this is the maker space. I meant the marketplace. So the maker space is based on sort of factories that I've seen in my area with like the visible ductwork and kind of just picnic tables for people to sit at. Nothing fancy. Kind of like a lot of storage racks and industrial stuff like that, you know. And then obviously the items, the objects that you use to make stuff. I decided not to include any food related stuff in this quote unquote factory. I ultimately ended up deciding that this factory lot would have the like tool tables, whatever they're called, you know, the like fabricator and the woodworking bench and all of that stuff. If it makes a decorative item for the home, then it goes in this factory. So it's not a food related factory. I would love to make one of those somewhere. If you have a good lot to place something like that on, specifically one of these maker spaces for food, I would love to do that. Um, but I also, because this one is for my save file, you can use whichever version of this lot you want, but this lot is for my all pack save file. And so I'm going to have it default on the marketplace lot. And as you saw, it was pretty basic. If you saw it already, maybe we haven't got to it yet. I don't know where we're at in the video right now, but the marketplace is fairly basic, probably even slightly more basic than the maker space here that I have, because I was going for, this is a converted warehouse that has been turned into an indoor flea market. You know what I mean? You know, one thing I should have and didn't think about adding to the marketplace version of this lot that you could definitely add in if you want is the selling panel for selling paintings and stuff from City Living. I might actually go back in and add that in the future potentially. But yeah, it's basic because it's meant to look like a converted warehouse type building or like generic retail type building that has been converted into an indoor flea market. And so obviously there's going to be like advertisements and things like that on the walls, and then the rest of it, the main focus is going to be the sales tables. So that's kind of what I was going for with these two particular lots. And there it happened again. I really need to get something to hook my better microphone up to. Um, or I don't know. I don't know. There might not be a way to not have that beep in there other than to shut my speakers off, but constantly going back and forth between listening and recording and remembering to turn my speakers on and off gets to be a bit of a pain. But anyways, sorry about that. Mostly it's just me getting used to this new editing software, and as I get more and more used to it and better at it, those little things will not happen as much anymore. The bathrooms, I included two. What did I include? I cut one of them out. I think I cut the bathrooms for the community garden out because it was the third time of doing the same basic bathroom. And because it's a community lot, I don't think that it needs to be an overly decorated bathroom. I don't think we want to encourage piles and piles of Sims to be hanging out in bathrooms any more than they already do on community lots. So I'd rather not have well decorated bathrooms and encourage the Sims to get back out there shopping and selling and all that kind of stuff. But yes, this version right here of the lot is what will be the default in my save file, because I wanted, in my head, this lot is actually an open plaza with market tables and stuff like that. But I also want the Sims to still be able to use it like in the winter and when it's storming outside and stuff. So I decided to make a building like this after all, even though in my head it's always been like a little open plaza. The other problem with an open plaza here is the lot doesn't actually match up with the sidewalks on either side of it, the front or the back. And so having a plaza, an open plaza area here also kind of looks funny. So this is how I decided to handle all of that. But yeah, I think these lots turned out really cute. I don't hate the marketplace version of this lot. Obviously, I'm putting it in my save file. But if I wasn't putting this in my save file, if I had just wanted it to be whatever, my favorite would probably be the community garden, if I'm being honest. And I might take that lot and use it as inspiration for a different space as well, which means if you download my save file and you decide to turn this lot into a community garden, you might end up with two community gardens in your game that look very, very similar. And here I am just going back and adding that front, like, pizzazz. How do I not remember the word? What's the word? Curb appeal. The curb appeal to the front of the building on all the different spaces, and then just a few little decorative touches throughout all the different spaces as well. Things that I realized I forgot later, or things that I decided would look good in these spaces, and I added those little touches in. Obviously, did all the gardens and everything for all three of them. There are little bits and pieces that I cut out, like painting the ground all over the place. I cut parts of that out because, again, this is like 4 lots in one, and I'm sure it gets boring seeing that same thing on every single one. Also, you may have noticed a couple of moments in here where something happens and then it's cut and then it redoes that, it like does a little replay of that last few seconds again. That is not my recording. My recording does not look that way. I don't know why that's happening. If you use DaVinci Resolve, this is the first video that's ever happened on. All I'm doing is cutting a small section of the video out and then deleting that little section, if that makes sense. And for some reason, this causes it to duplicate the last 2 seconds twice, and it literally adds it as part of the original file. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's very weird. Like I said, this program is going to be something for me to get used to. That's for sure. But yeah, we're almost done with the speed build portion, so we can get into the walkthrough. It's going to be a very quick walkthrough because it's 4 lots in one. Oh wait, did we do a walkthrough of the community garden? We might have did a walkthrough of the community garden in the last video, so I'll just keep it to the other two in this one then. But you can go back and watch that one to see the community garden and stuff. And just a couple more things to place here and we will be done. Little bit of signage on the front. And that is it. Okay, so to start out with, we are in the marketplace lot. And we will very slowly and painstakingly make our way to the actual lot. We will start in the actual marketplace building right now, but as you can see from out here, we've got lots of advertising up on the wall already right out here. We'll head inside, and this is the inside of the marketplace, like warehouse type room. Nothing too fancy, nothing too spectacular. all eyes on the tables where you can shop at. The only one that I don't think townies and pre-mades will be using is this one. I think maybe because it's a food only one potentially, though don't quote me on that. They might end up using this and they might end up using it for non-food stuff. I haven't actually tried it out yet, so I don't know. But yeah, this one might sit empty if your active Sims are not doing the selling and they're not selling food and they're not using that table to sell from. These might be the only ones that get used potentially. And potentially in the save file, I might trade this one here out for that tall, like a board one from what's it called? City Living. Although that didn't come up in the list either, so I'm not 100% sure that one would work either, but I'll test it out before I add it or don't add it. But anyways, lots more advertising on the walls again. As you can see, let's head out here. It's not too spectacular or fancy, but it's nice enough to like sit at and enjoy the park scenery, the like garden scenery over there. It feels decent enough to be part of this more like family park oriented area. It does have a couple of dumpsters here though, and that there's no like way to get around that. I guess I could have added fencing around it so you couldn't see it as well, but it wasn't the vibe I was going for, so I just left it open. Then we have the indoor seating area and vending machines to eat at indoors during inclement weather. We also, sorry for the quick spin, I need to get a different mouse. We also have basic bathrooms. All three have very basic bathrooms. That's all you're getting. I already explained why, but basically it's so that the Sims don't feel compelled to hang out in the bathrooms. And also, I just generally hate bathrooms. I don't think they need to be overly well decorated. So there you have it. This is the one that's going to be default in my save file right here because that's what I want here. So let's look at the maker space. And you can't see it right now, the tree disappeared, but there's supposed to be a giant tree right there. Anyways, makerspace, kind of factory-esque. And so very basic. We've got the dumpsters right here for your Sims to use. We've got the recycler right there for your Sims to use. We'll head in here. Anything that is housewares, that is what your Sims can make here. I don't know why, that's just what I decided on. I figured different spaces, different factory spaces would be better for different things. I also included the electric panel so your Sims could work on some of their skills even when some of these things were not available to use. But yeah, your Sims can come here and make housewares for their homes or to sell to other people, other Sims. A basic outdoor eating area with a couple of picnic tables, and because this is more factory-esque, I wasn't really wanting to encourage the Sims to spend a lot of time out here because that's not the point of this lot, to hang out with other people. It's to, you know, grind. And also, maybe we don't want to encourage them to hang out underneath the recycler. So that's the other thing. Here is the eating area where your Sims can bring their own pack lunch or have a vending machine lunch. Just kind of hang out, eat, take a break. There are bathrooms over there as well. They look basically the same as the other ones, as you can see. But yeah, that's the lot. It's finally finished. The default will again remain the marketplace for my save file. I specifically built that one to fit into this neighborhood. I built this whole lot to fit into this neighborhood with selling stuff at the tables being the point. One last thing before I go, YouTube is already making some money off of some of my more popular videos. So if you could, like, I don't know, mute the videos, put them on 2x speed, and then make sure you watch for at least 5 minutes. And like the videos, and if you're really, look at that scenery in the background. I love being able to look out over a town like that. Anyways, I get distracted so easy. If you're really feeling up to it, also hit the subscribe button so that you can help a girl out with getting monetized so that I'm benefiting from YouTube making money off of my content. Anyways, that'll do it for this one. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.